Hello everyone, and welcome to another X-Plane 11 tutorial. In this lesson, I'll show you how to update the X-Plane 11 navigation database using a subscription called Navigraph. I'm in the 737 and I have the flight management computer open. Notice the warning on the bottom left that says nav data is out of date. If you were to load the Cessna 172 and click on the Garmin 530, you would get a similar error message as well. That's because of something called an AIRAC cycle. An AIRAC cycle, put simply, is just all the changes made to aeronautical information such as the runway heading, the airport, taxiways, ILS frequencies, waypoints, SID stars, and other various things that change on a monthly basis. If you were to never purchase a subscription to Navigraph, you would only have the default dataset that was shipped with X-Plane 11. And that, as you can see on the screen here, is only valid from October 13th of 2016 to November 10th of 2016, also known as the AIRAC 1610 cycle. If all you're going to do is fly by yourself or visual flight rules, perhaps a Navigraph subscription is not required. But if you want to use various online communities such as VATSIM, or flight route builders such as simbrief.com or skyvector.com, I highly recommend a subscription to Navigraph. What I'll do now is I'll bring up the web browser and you can see the Navigraph homepage. And if I was to click on the products link, you'll have the various things that Navigraph provides. Flight management data, airport charts and route charts, video tutorials, and much, much more. So before you begin with any of this information, you would have to purchase a subscription, select your country, and then choose a plan. You can get the charts plan, a flight management computer plan only, or the ultimate package, which includes everything, for about 74 euros per year. I highly recommend the ultimate package as it's definitely worth the value. So I already have a Navigraph subscription. I pay on a monthly basis, and I have these products installed. But if you don't, once you have your subscription, come to the home page here and you're going to see Navigraph FMS data and a download now, the charts cloud, and the charts desktop. Well, you would think that this is where you would want to download these things. The only thing I would download from here is the Navigraph FMS data. I would download that program. The rest of them we're going to use a beta version that I'll show you later on. So let's go ahead and open up that program, and you can see it now on the screen. This is the Navigraph FMS Data Manager, and by default it's blank. So I have to come over here to add-on mapping and do a scan. That will scan my computer for various flight simulator products, and if they're found, it'll come up on the screen. So as you can see here, it found 3, a universal FMC that I purchased, the free XFMC, and X-Plane 11. So I'm happy with this, but if you weren't, you can select Add and manually select the folder of your program that you want it to find. And lastly, click on the Save button, and that will save all your configuration. So now we'll go to the add-on list, which is basically showing me the same 3 plugins and their current AIRAC cycle. So here X-Plane 11 is ready for an update. If I wanted to back up that current data set, I can click on this button. However, we just want to update this item because it'll automatically by default do the backup for me. And you can see here it's currently downloading that information, and then once it's downloaded, it'll go ahead and install it for me. So I'm going to close X-Plane here and then reopen it. And when we get back into X-Plane, we should see the latest and greatest AIRAC cycle. Alright, as you can see on the screen, there's no error message at the bottom saying that the nav data is out of date. And if I click on status, the active database is now from August 17th of 2017 to September 14th of 2017. So I'm now running the latest AIRAC cycle, which is exactly what we purchased the Navigraph subscription for. So now let's show you a new feature here. We'll go back to the Navigraph website, and I'm going to show you something called the Charts Cloud. This is the Charts Cloud, but it's the beta version of the Charts Cloud. So if you were to simply go to the Navigraph website here and click on the Charts Cloud, it would look much different than what you see on the screen. Instead, over here under the latest news where it says charts beta testing, if you were to click this, you'll see all kinds of beta applications, and these are the ones that I recommend you download. So you'll see the Charts Cloud Open Beta, the Charts Desktop Open Beta, Android has an open beta, the iPad also has an open beta, and there's another thing here called Symlink, which is an open beta. Symlink is a small desktop software that installs as a plugin to X-Plane, and it links your X-Plane to Navigraph so that you can have a movable map, and I'll show you that in a bit. So while you want to download the FMS Data Manager from the home page, I would download the Charts Desktop and use the Charts Cloud here from this beta testing section. So I'm now showing you the Charts Cloud beta, and from here I can add a new flight, enter in all my information just like I would at skyvector.com. I could see the actual map like skyvector.com. I could go to airports and select CYOW for Ottawa, which is where I'm from. I could make it a favorite by clicking the star. And now I'll have all the information for Ottawa. I can see the stars, the approaches, the taxis, the SIDs. So let's say I want to see the approach for ILS runway 07. It'll now load the Jepson chart for that approach. So I can see all kinds of airport information here. And if I simply do search, I can search for any waypoint, airport, or anything on the map. So I can search for, say, YOW here. And I can see everything that has YOW, so the actual airport itself, or I can actually see just the waypoint here, or the VOR. So it's really neat that you can search for any waypoint here and find it just like you can on skyvector.com. There's also another really cool feature here that once you have the Symlink program installed, you can click this little toggle traffic button and see your icon on the map. So there I am sitting at the Ottawa International Airport, and as I begin to fly, my aircraft will update on this map. So let's go ahead and do that here. So I'll switch us back to X-Plane for a second. We'll do a quick takeoff. And then I'll show you the moving map feature. Now, the moving map feature is neat in itself, that if you are flying a particular route and you want to make sure you're staying on the route, you can look at that. But as a video producer like myself, one of the things that I have an idea for is to tie that into Open Broadcaster Studio, which is what I use to record videos. And I can overlay that movable map from Navigraph into my video, so that now you guys can actually see the flight path while I'm flying it. Because right now, as you can see, the map in the MCP or inside the cockpit is quite small, and you're not really able to see much of it. But if I was to overlay that movable map, perhaps that would give another perspective of these videos that I do. So now let's go ahead and switch back to the Charts Cloud beta, and you should be now seeing the actual movement of my plane there. So that's really cool that if I start to turn, you'll actually see the point on the map turn there. And if I was to have created a flight route from one point to another point, or entered in all the waypoints in between those two routes, you would see the magenta line on this map and the symbol of my aircraft following it. So again, really cool that there's now a movable map feature within Navigraph. So let's go ahead now and turn that off. And I'm going to show you another feature that Navigraph has. There's a link to SimBrief. So SimBrief is a website I showed you earlier on how to create a flight route. So if I went to dispatch and then the dispatch system here, I can create a new flight, I can enter my departure and arrival airport information, and it would build me a route here. So for example, I could type in CYOW and CYUL for Montreal, and it gives me a route, and I can click Analyze Route, and it gives me a route that I can enter into a flight management computer or now Navigraph. Notice on the right hand side here where it says AIRAC, I'm using the latest information. By default in SimBrief, they only let you use up to 1603 for free. So if you have a Navigraph subscription, you can go here to your account settings and you can unlock your Navigraph subscription here. And you can see here that I'm currently allowed to use these air racks. And I can click these to unlock more. So next month when another one comes into play, I can log in and there will be a button for me to click and I can unlock the latest air rack information. What's really neat about this is I can now create a flight route on simbrief.com using the latest air rack. And if I fly that route on VATSIM, which is an online community with air traffic control, I know that both the ATC and my X-plane will have the same waypoints, so we're looking at the same screen and same data set, which is awesome. In addition to updating my flight management data and the cloud application, Navigraph offers a desktop application called the Charts Desktop, and it has the same features as the cloud application. I can create flight plans here, as you can see. I can go to the airports and select CYOW, and it'll give me all the same information. So I went to approach and I can select runway 7 and get my Jepson chart, or I can search here for the same waypoint YOW and have it come up on a map. It also has the same toggle traffic feature so that if I want to have a moving map on my desktop. So really now you can access this information on your desktop computer, on your iPad, on your Android tablet. You can even access it through a web browser. So Navigraph did a spectacular job in providing all these tools so that you can pick and choose which one you like. And I really like the feature that I can update multiple plugins that use FMS type data. And it's about less than $10 a month. So I think it's very good value for all the features they provide. So I hope that you enjoyed this quick tutorial on updating X-Plane 11's navigational database using Navigraph, and that you provide me with some comments below of things that you would like to see added to Navigraph, or perhaps some additional videos that I should be creating in the future. So please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you and have a great day.